When it comes to politics in the United States of America, immigration has always been a hot topic, debating whether it's good or bad for the United States of America. But today I wanted to focus on Alabama and how strict immigration laws are affecting Alabama's economy and how they are suffering from strict immigration laws that are being made now and have been made in the past. Recently, Alabama just passed this new law, HB 56 law, which is an anti-immigration law to keep all immigrants out of the state. Pretty much gives law enforcement, if you look suspicious of not being a citizen or legal resident, they can pull you over and ask for identification and to prove your citizenship, which has caused a lot of controversy throughout the United States of America. Similar to the law that Arizona implemented a few years back, this law received a lot of criticism because it only discriminated against one certain group, and that being the Latino group, because most immigrants in the United States are from across the border in Mexico or from Central and South America. So even if you did have citizenship or residency in the United States, you were still discriminated against because of the way you look. Before, Homeland Security and ICE were the ones in charge of tracking down people here in the country illegally. But now, since this new law has been implemented, it gave police and local law enforcement in the state of Alabama the authority to stop you just on the suspicion that you're here illegally. They can now ask for proof of residency, which has a lot of people scared because even though they are here legally, they're scared that they're going to be pulled over by the police. As stated before, this law only discriminates against one group, and that being the Latino or Hispanic group, because most immigrants in Alabama are Latino or Hispanic descent. But apart from that, it discriminates against legal citizens who are from the Hispanic or Latino group, because even though they are here legally, they're discriminated against just because of the color of their skin or the way they speak. For being a discriminatory law, this law has also impacted Alabama's economy. By economy, it has created a labor shortage because most of the people working in Alabama's agricultural workforce are immigrants, and most of those immigrants are undocumented and are in the state illegally, which this new law has caused them to fled and leave the country. That has left Alabama with a labor shortage. 90% of Alabama's agricultural workforce is made up of immigrants. And most of those immigrants are in the country illegally, and now they are fleeing the state because they are scared and leaving Alabama farmers without a workforce, which is causing a lot of businesses to shut down because they do not have a workforce to maintain their businesses open, and they are forced to look for domestic labor, but none of these domestic workers want to work in agriculture. Ever since immigrants started leaving the state of Alabama, the residents did not realize the impact it would have afterwards. A lot of these towns where these immigrants lived have now been turned into ghost towns with few residents because most of those immigrants lived in those small towns. And a lot of businesses did not realize that a lot of their consumers were immigrants, and now they are going out of business and have forced to close their stores. Businesses have been closing, a lot of people have been left unemployed. Alabama already had one of the highest unemployment rates in the country, in the United States of America. Since then, they have tried domestic workers to fill in these spots. But these spots have only been filled for a week or even days because most of these workers are not durable and are forced to leave because they cannot handle the hard pressure and working conditions. 40% of Alabama's overall economy is agricultural. So you can imagine how this new law has affected their state. A lot of these farmers have petitioned to the state governor to repeal this law, but he just tells them to endure it and that the people will adapt and they will figure this out in the future. Farmers, because they are in need of immigrant workers, have tried to tame the H-1B work visas for immigrant workers from another country that allow them to work in the country legally. But since these visas are limited, not many farmers obtain them. If they do obtain them, they're only limited to a certain amount of workers, which pretty much leaves them in a useless state and doesn't help them that much at all. It's been a year since Alabama implemented this HB 56 law, and still farmers today struggle to obtain people who are willing to work. Most of them have decided that Americans just aren't built for these type of jobs. They're not durable. Even before the United States would hire immigrant workers to work in the fields and other hard labor jobs. Before the law was implemented, the governor blamed immigrants for taking all the jobs in the state. But now that the law has been implemented and these jobs are opened up, nobody wants those jobs. So who do they look to blame for? They still blame the immigrants, even though the immigrants have left the state and have left those jobs open for the domestic workers there. Is there a solution to this problem that Alabama is suffering from? Well, one solution would be to repeal the law and maybe bring back the workers that were working in Alabama. Or another solution would be to get these workers visas so they can work in the country legally. Because right now, the United States is on a currently broken immigration system that does not allow workers to work in the country legally. Like Alabama, California is a sanctuary state where it protects its immigrants, regardless if they have legal status or not. And because of that, California now holds one of the strongest economies in the world, most of it because of immigrant people who have migrated to the state and started businesses there or become entrepreneurs and hired American workers.